And while Kamala Harris was quick to criticize President Trump's handling of COVID, she refused to answer this very important question.
Would you impose new lockdowns for businesses and schools and hotspots? A federal mandate to wear masks? You have 2 minutes to respond without interruption.
Thank you, Susan. Well, the American people have witnessed what is the greatest failure of any presidential administration in the history of our country.
Now, I know it seems like we're harping on this point, but they are refusing to answer this question. Will you lock down the country? How will that work? How will it be enforced? So why the obfuscation? Perhaps I think it's because the increasing number of Americans fighting COVID lockdown measures in the courts, and they're winning. Joining me now is Harmeet Dhillon, civil rights attorney and Lawyers for Trump national co-chair. Harmeet, you've been fighting against these punitive measures from the very beginning. What did her non-answer? You've worked in the same legal circles as she has. You live in San Francisco. What did her non-answer reveal to you?
Well, Laura, I saw your photo from this morning from Washington, and San Francisco looks exactly like that. It's incredibly depressing, and what we know from what we've seen out of this campaign is that we're going to see more of that, potentially years more of that, if the Biden-Harris ticket is elected into office, because they have promised more shutdowns, mask mandates, a federal mask mandate, as Joe Biden has promised, and so much more. They don't have any solutions. They don't have any answers, and you saw that tonight in the debate. All they have is pot shots, cheap shots, rehearsed lines from Kamala Harris. And voters can't really trust her. As I've written before in the Wall Street Journal and other places, she's reversed herself on just about every issue that she's ever taken. And so you really have to look at everything she's saying with a grain of salt.
Kamala Harris said this tonight about her record as California AG.
Having served as the Attorney General of the state of California, the work that I did is a model of what our nation needs to do, and we will be able to do under a Joe Biden presidency.
Harmeet, what would her model look like on a national level?
Well, see, that's the hard question, because every time it becomes politically expedient, she changes her position. So originally she was against legalizing marijuana. She was against allowing felons to vote. She was trying to ratchet up the amounts of bail for people who are incarcerated. She put more people away for minor drug crimes, and she helped out ICE originally, on and on and on. And she's reversed herself on every one of those issues. Look, her record as Attorney General, if you ask any Californian, it's going to be she was a crudely tough on crime prosecutor who refused to take a compassionate view of a lot of these lower level crimes. But, secondly, she's known for prosecuting a for-profit college and putting them out of business. That's really her legacy. You can't really name any other accomplishments. No criminal justice reform, nothing regarding domestic violence, human trafficking, any of those issues that you often see liberal prosecutors care about and try to advance justice. None of that. She's always focused on the next thing.
All right, CNN's post-debate panel, Harmeet, made some excuses for why Kamala lost.
She was in a trick bag. If she pushed back too hard, maybe it creates a moment, but also it creates the angry woman thing.
The angry woman label, I mean, that is a real danger. And for a black woman, that is double.
So did you notice the smile that was on her face all the time?
I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, are you, Harmeet, as a woman of color, ever treated like such a damsel in distress as they were trying to treat Kamala Harris, who's supposed to be so tough?
Laura, not if you want to be a successful trial lawyer. I'm 27 years into this. I was a little bit less than Kamala Harris, but, I don't cry unfair and, stamp my feet when somebody's tough. Judges are tough to you. Opposing counsel are usually guys, and they're tough. And you got to punch right back. She's capable of doing that, but in her shallow way. Like, she has these rehearsed lines she comes back at. But Mike Pence went deep, and he absolutely destroyed her. And that was kind of her record as a prosecutor as well. A lot of pictures, a lot of dancing around, not much substance.
Interesting. Harmeet, a little shallow, we're going to say Shallow Hal, the movie, but this is, Shallow Kamala. I appreciate